Hello everyone, welcome to Res Politics. Get a bite to eat and get ready for some news. How was the weather at the meeting in Lamedeer, Wayland? Beautiful, just beautiful. It seemed to be a pretty nice day. 70s, but got spicy out right away as the cops were called. A protester came up to test everyone out. We don't know the protester's name or who she was, but seemed to be angry at multiple people in the crowd. Telling the protester to go play did not work, and the cops indeed had to be called for real. What, Kofax? I was wrong about something? I have to make a correction?
Oh, no. Oh,
I was wrong about Tory, and he has a LLC with the tribe for the cannabis.
Oh, wow. I need a minute to think about this.
I have just beat myself up about this.
I will not try to stop my elders from destroying the world.
And we'll get more information and report more on this story. In fact, I will make an entire episode about it and correct the record.
Please clap.
The biggest story is about the boats. Councilwoman Small speaks about this. Apparently, there was more than a few problems and what many feared. The boats may have not been purchased through the correct channels. Sounds like circumventing the system to me. I always felt like I needed to be extra safe with everything did in office. I felt like everything I did was scrutinized to the fullest. However, this council feels like they can purchase large items without the proper approval of the public, the rest of the council, and the administration. My biggest question in all of this is, how was there as check cut for these purchases? We did have multiple guardrails in our finance department. Interesting. Okay, let's let the video speak for itself on with the show. Probably the most interesting question of the entire meeting was from Alvin Strange Owl.
Is it wet now? Yeah.
Probably not in the correct context, but a good question for everyone to think about. Let's get to some of the video.
The elderly were saying, I feel like this is the last time I'm ever going to be able to fight for my land. Because my son, my daughters, they're all drinking, they're all on drugs, and they're all not interested in helping me save my land that's been in my family forever. And a lot of these people, they have no recourse. They have no one standing up for them, telling them, hey, this is not right, this is unfair.
Because of new guidelines, the Lamedeer assisted over 700 people. We didn't give one family $1,600 to turn on their electricity. We didn't give another family $2,000 to go down to Denver. We pretty well had to set.
Hey, get out of here, go.
This year we have funds left. We have one more budget, and it's been approved, and it will probably open up this time.
There you go, girl.
Sometime.
You drunk?
You better respect Lucas Tuesday too. You may want to call the cops.
You got a cops on her?
Call the cops.
Do you have phone? Who's the officer? Paying attention here. That's a good idea, what you just now mentioned about possibly writing resolutions, but I disagree with that because that, right now, the tribal government. Hold on now.
Put it right up to your lips.
Only because right now, the tribal government is supposed to interfere with district matters. If you start writing resolutions, it's gonna open that door for them to start dictating to the district. And I really don't think that we want any interference from tribal government. Once you pass a resolution, that opens the door for them to say, okay, well, you guys recognize us, so we have the authority to go and dictate what you guys are doing. And just like the little squabble that we had here, about the minutes and stuff, one party can go run to their council rep and say, okay, we have a resolution passed, and now we need your help, because I think this is wrong. Even if the district votes that's not wrong, but the council will intervene just because you guys open the door for them to intervene. Because once you pass the resolution, it becomes a federal document, it becomes a tribal document. And the governing body of this tribe, the president, enforces all resolutions and ordinances of the tribal council. So once the district writes a resolution and it passes here, once the council passes it, it becomes theirs. So, that's a district. We're giving away our power. They work for us. Yes. The council, every single one of them. President, vice president.
Yeah, that's true. They work for us.
And we can't do that if we're pointing fingers at each other and saying each other right here. Let's make some real motions. Let's hold them accountable.
Okay, can I make an amendment to your, are you willing to write another things right now? If we have to, we can write it, but we sure like a little help.
Well, explain to me what other things.
While we're doing the petitions, we're doing letters to,
I think holding these tribal council members, these tribal government is more important than petitions. Because I know nobody likes to hear, a petition is only good for two things per this constitution.
Right.
To put it on a referendum.
Yep.
And to overturn a resolution or ordinance passed by the tribal council. That's the only two things that a petition is good for.
Really, because we want it in a referendum vote if they won't vote for it in the council. We have been telling them, vote for it, you know, do this, do that, and they won't listen.
But
this was our last chance. We stopped the new law and order code when I was going around where you had to be 16 feet off the ground in order for a cop to stop you because of your
so how about instead of going in there and saying this is what we want, this is what we want, I'll make another motion to direct our Lamedeer reps to go forward with this forensic audit. These are coming from your district here.
They're not?
Well,
I don't know.
then we can start filing complaints of removal.
The good thing about that
That's
is you
neglected
can
duty.
Yeah.
So right there we have a code in the state council that warrant removal, damaging videotape that shows what actually happened at a tribal council meeting, and the person that was in charge of the button, a tribal council member, destroyed it. Those are grounds for dismissal. So many things like that are, grounds for dismissal here
So,
in this
I
tribe.
mean, let's just start getting real. Let's start making motions to hold them accountable. Let's start making motions.
Let's start making motions to rebuild our tribal government.
So that way we can have actual numbers when you go to district updates.
We don't need the system to checks and balances.
Okay, we have council member Teresa Small. She would like to say something.
Do you think the pontoon boat should have been brought before the people?
Yeah, yes, it should have been. And I told Melissa, I said, we didn't prove this. And she just said, yeah, I know. And the next thing I knew, it was purchased. It would have, I don't know if it was passed, but it was purchased.
Which, the boats?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they
in
were
the council
purchased.
meeting too, Tori said he didn't approve it. If you guys remember, or being in a council meeting.
Teresa, I was just kind of wondering if you could, I don't know if you attended that meeting I saw that you had for that nuclear storage.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that you could get that guy to come here and do a Q&A with us here? Because not a lot of people were able to, make it over to the meeting. Do you think you would be able to?
So I gave my card to Emily. I believe her name was Emily, and she works for the lady that was speaking the most, the elderly woman, Christine. And when we were talking, just to let you know, when we were talking, I kept trying to square up with her, to have a good conversation with her, to tell her why we are saying no. Because if you've seen or heard in that meeting, there was a man who said, I think he walked in and out about 3 or 4 times after he had his say, but he said, I've worked with Cheyennes all my life, well, for a long time, he said. And he says, I'm here to tell everybody in the room, when a Cheyenne says no, they mean no. And so, to reiterate what he was saying, when I was talking to her, she danced all the way around me, like 2 good circles, until I finally squared up with her, and I told her why we were saying no. And it was about her ancestors, and
I found it.
And shared a lot more with her. But when I got done with her, she was crying. She's from Montana. She's from here. Doesn't live too far from Colster. So that's telling me that she don't want it either. And another thing too is that they're all humans. They just have greed on the mind. They've been raised differently.
Okay, go ahead.
We have groundbreaking ceremony on May 26th for the Lamedeer Community Building.
Is it district building or community building?
It's community building, but the district.
But for the district?
Yeah.
You know what?
I got a question.
That is terrible, because we should have our own building. It's supposed to be
Head Start.
Head Start. We were banned from Head Start even though there was a resolution that we had a right to hold meetings there. And now you're just passing a button, doing the same thing over again.
I'd like to ask one question. Okay, so one thing was brought up a while back, and our focus was our elders, our children, the sick. Dialysis was supposed to be one of the first priorities for the tribe. Now what's going on with that? That still nothing's made headways. I heard they ran out of money. Now we're focusing on boats and cannabis, and how's that gonna make us money when the dialysis building can make money with third-party billing?
So it was supposed to be run.
Well, from what I understand about it, what I know about it, in the past they did a feasibility study on whether or not a dialysis center would be feasible here. And not only once, but twice it came back, no, it wouldn't be a feasible thing. And I don't know who pushed it along to the point that where it's at now, even after hearing that it wasn't a feasible thing here, because it isn't about generating money. Maybe long term if it was planned out right, but
It had something to do with bad water or something, right?
Yeah.
The feasibility
and
study.
The feasibility, I'm pretty sure was because of that. But I don't know, because I didn't read the study itself. So, but I do know that we're at a halt right now, and
And then the police station. Now it's just like a wet res. We can't even throw them in for 24 hours, but we see them here daily. Is it wet now?
So
Yeah.
to answer, 72,000
What happened to the remaining? That's why you need a forensic audit.
Right, and there is a forensic audit coming.
Okay,
So that being
so-
said, Gene and the ARPA put, I can't remember, I think it was like, anyway, it went back up to 717,000. So we moved on it.
1 million.
Yeah. Anyway, we moved on it, and so this is where we're at now. And groundbreaking is May 26th.
So who's gonna have control of that building? Will
Yeah,
the
who's
district
gonna
or
control it?
district? The district. Okay.
Unanimous.
What are they voting on?
To close the meeting.
Oh.